So, Kerry, I want to move over into something else quickly. And I need you to, every week, you tell me you don't have a hat on, but I need you to change your hat from host to roving reporter for a minute. I would love to hear your segment on being our financial designer. And before you start, I am going to give a little bit of an introduction for Kerry because Kerry is not only a rock star podcaster, she's on several podcasts, she's founded several podcasts, but she also is like the community that we run in. She is the financial designer that leads the way. She's the one teaching us how to not be stressed about, finances and how to get our schnizzle together. So, Carrie, you are a brilliant entrepreneur and you've paved a trail for us to follow in the financial designing of our own businesses.
Well, I have, Kim. However, I do want to say for anyone tuning in, don't be concerned. Numbers are not everybody's thing. So, therefore, a lot of us, and I was one of these people as well, by the way, back in my earlier years, it was like scary, numbers, like, oh, what does it mean? I can't work it out. So, I want everyone to know first and foremost, like, it's not as scary as it sounds. And that is easy for me to say sitting in my financial seat these days. However, I do want to assure you that it's not that yucky place that I guess a lot of us feel. But today, Kim, we want to talk about being lean and mean on our finances. Kerry had it kind of phrased a different way, but not allowed to say that because G-rated show, all those things. But Kim, lean and mean, like we do need to keep a close eye on our finances because those little beans can run away and certainly exit our bank accounts. And if we're not careful and we're not watching, and we're not making sure that we're keeping a tight rein on those expenses. And that's what I'm talking about when I speak about being lean and mean, is making sure that our expenses are on a tight leash, because that's up to us to control if we're out there, spending and buying and doing all these things and buying new things that we think our business needs sometimes, because a lot of us get a little bit carried away pressing buttons. And yeah, we can run into trouble, Kim.
Well, Carrie, one of the things that you've got me like doing differently is signing up for things with subscriptions. Like, I do want to talk about that really quickly because as an entrepreneur, we're always looking for something that helps us, make it easier or helps us make more money, just to be point blank. And if we sign up for everything, number one, we're not going to use everything. Like, we don't even have time. I don't know about everybody else, but entrepreneurs are they are juggling. They're juggling their business and they're juggling their life. And if you don't set it up in a way, that it doesn't consume you, you have to not be consumed. But sometimes that consuming carry comes from all the things that we're buying, all the things that we're trying to learn at the same time. And when you say, which Carrie has another phrase, let's just be honest. Hers is, and I'm going to say it so she doesn't get in trouble. It's being a tight bleep. That's what. So I feel like, Carrie, you can speak even more to that of how do you keep your stuff, lean and mean? How do you keep it reined in?
Well, Kim, I think it comes down to once we're aware, and again, I mentioned this before about keeping things in the forefront of our mind. And once you've kind of experience this for a little while and practice this in your mind of before you just press the button, really think about whether you need that thing that you're about to buy. And it might be something on a recurring payment. It could be something you have to pay for monthly. And just stop and think for a moment before we press the button. And do we need it? Are we going to use it? When are we going to use it? And the biggest trap, Kim, and you and I know this too well because we've fallen victim to it as well, is the free trial where you can sign up for something and have free access to all the bells and whistles for 7 days, 14 days, whatever the companies are offering. And their marketing's good, Kim. Their marketing is really good. They show you all of the fancy toys and tools that we want and looks like it solves a problem. But do we have time for it? Are we actually going to use it within that 7 or 14 days to experience the program before we start getting charged? And I've done it recently myself where I thought, oh, this looks good. Yep, I'll sign up for this. Same day, went back in and cancelled it because I went, oh, hang on a minute. What am I thinking? I'm not getting to this within 7 days. I am going to get charged. Let me go back and reverse that right now, not, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Because that's one of the other traps, Kim, is when we don't pay attention to when these things are going to happen. That's
Mhm.
when we get caught out. And sometimes it can be months before we discover that that money has been leaving our bank account and we're out of pocket.
So I'm going to ask another question, Carrie, because I know the answer for me is a yes, but I want to ask you this question. Have you ever been so busy being an entrepreneur, running your business, doing all the things, and that you didn't pay attention? So you just said, yes, that looks good. And yes, that looks good. And yes, I'll take that. And yes, sign me up. And yes, like without really slowing down to look at what, like, do I really have time? Like you said, do I really have this, in my budget? All those things. Have you ever done that? Because I have.
Again, Kim, how many times? I can't even confess that much because it has happened in the multiples. We all fall victim to these these situations. This is nothing new to any of us. And trust me when I say I understand it firsthand because I've done it in the multiples. So these days, because it's in the forefront of the mind, yes, I'm very conscious and very hyper aware before I press those buttons. But that took time. That took time to ingrain that in my mindset of, oh, let me guard my beans. I want beans for coffee, not running out of my bank account.
Good point, Carrie. Great point. And
Hmm.
I have to say one of the reasons that I lean into learning from you is because you're not judgy. And I think that's a really important part is if you didn't understand that part, because I have met some people who I think they think they're perfect. And I love that you are messy with us and you really do help tremendously. You've saved this community. Do you have a new total for us this week, Carrie?
I don't have an exact number, but I am told we did pip over $60,000.
$60,000 in less than a year savings in this community. That is a big deal.
It
And
is.
Carrie, can I just say, as we wrap up this segment, can I say that the next sponsor is how everyone saved this money? Like, I feel like that's an important part to acknowledge is you have to have a plan to do that. And Carrie, you created one.
Thank you, Kim.
So, can we go over to a word from our sponsors? It's 1 minute long, and you will find out how so many people save that much money.
Have you ever woken in the morning, opened your bank account, and found you are overdrawn? Do you feel you have too much money going out of your business to unknown places? It's time to be in the driver's seat of your finances. Using simple subscriptions is the first step. Available on Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel using a simple 4-step process. Grab your bank statements, list all of your recurring payments, then start taking action to cancel the charges you don't need to be paying. Let Simple Subscriptions show you how much you can save and help you track the progress. The community has saved over $60,000 so far, and you can join the tally by grabbing your free and private copy today from kerryzarb.com/simple subs.
I love that, Carrie. I have to tell you, I love, love, love it.
Me too.